guys, it's spring. I think the ice is melted and it's time to go try and catch some cutthroat trout. So we're gonna hike into a little group of lakes. There's a boat stash there that we're gonna use to do some casting. Hopefully it's not too windy. It's a beautiful sunny day and hopefully catch some fish. It's actually been quite a while since I've done any cutthroat trout fishing. Something, I used to do a lot when I was a kid or when I was younger, but ever since I started commercial fishing, I really started focusing more on the larger saltwater species, which to my mind are a little more succulent on the dinner table. But it's spring, the ice just melted, and so I thought I'd come out and give it a try. It's kind of, you can't tell right here, but it's actually pretty windy today. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too windy at the lake, because there's a little boat that's stashed there, and I want to take that out because it's kind of a shallow, weedy shore with lots of brush. So it really helps to fish from a boat. This is one of our favorite walks around here. It's just really great to come out here on a spring or a summer day, or in the winter when there's not too much snow to get here. It's pretty fun to walk too. There's a lot of like ducks and geese that will nest on these lakes. So if you come down here in June, it'll be full of goslings, and you can watch eagles like try and catch the goslings, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's sad if you actually see one get caught, but I mean, that's nature. It's the cycle of life, red in tooth and claw. Here we are at the first lake we're going to check out. I don't think I've actually fished this lake before. I usually go to a different one in the same little trail system, but this is actually the largest lake, so maybe it'll have the largest fish. Let's go give it a try. Up on our right, it looks like we might have a secret sheltered cove. Let's go check that out. Maybe it'll be calm and we can catch some trout. This looks inviting ahead of us. There's like a nice arm of the lake that's sheltered from the wind, and I don't know, it looks like it could be like a secret spot that giant trout lurk in, like sharks. Ooh, 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 salad. We got salad. That's so exciting. Not. Well, I saw a fish jump. And so we know there's some fish in this lake, which is good because I've never fished this lake or talked to anybody who fishes it, though I'm sure people do. So maybe I'll change up my lures, try something a little different, see if we can't catch one of these fish. Looked like a pretty decent rise, not like huge. For whatever reason, our trout tend to stay like 10 to 12 inches here, but often there's a lot of them. So I don't usually fish when I do fish this time of year. So it's earlier than I normally fish around here. I'm hungry. Let's eat. Well, I think I'm gonna have to give up on the trout for today. Kind of a little windy. I think it'll be just as windy at the other lakes. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just really hard to stay in position every time you cast. By the time you're done casting, you've drifted into a weed bank. So we have a venison bacon burger with Monterey Jack cheese and sourdough bread. I think it's pretty gourmet, given that we're out here on a lake in Alaska and it's windy and all that stuff. The venison is from a deer I got myself from the same island that we're on now, so we're eating local. I have a confession to make. This video is actually a combination of 2 days because the last time I was out here, I failed both to catch a trout and all my footage had terrible sound quality because it was windy. All you heard was so we're trying again. We're at this really cool spot where beavers have blocked up the outflow of this lake and created these really deep pools that are the perfect rearing habitat for cutthroat trout, dolly varden, various species of salmon, especially coho salmon. These beavers play a really important role in our ecosystem. They basically create gardens for salmon, which in turn come back after they've been in the saltwater, come back to these creeks and spawn, and along the way they provide us with food and jobs. And there's just nothing like seeing salmon pushing up through a river, coming back to where they came from. It's special, and it's really neat how it all ties together. So the way this works is the adult salmon will swim upstream and they will spawn in these creeks that feed into these lakes, and the eggs will hatch, and the little baby salmon called fry, and then later juveniles, will migrate into these lakes and these beaver ponds, and then they'll just gorge on all the bugs and plankton and all the tasty treats that live in these ponds. And then after they've grown to a few inches long, after a few years, depending on the species of salmon, they'll actually migrate out back to sea, where they then grow up into the big beefy fish that we're familiar with. And what's interesting is when they come back to spawn in these creeks, the trout that have been living in these lakes will follow them into the creeks and will then feast on the eggs that the adult salmon are laying. So it all just links together in this just beautiful ecosystem. And to get all the benefits from these salmon and beavers and all the forest ecosystem, all we have to do is just take care of it, and those fish will keep coming back. Check out this cool beaver lodge. Or what made this lake. There's some old ones on the lake too, but this one actually looks pretty active. A little bit is better than nada, but at least I caught some salada. Well, we didn't catch anything still, but you know, that's... So yeah, don't lean on the boat. That's what I learned. Well, we still didn't catch anything, but that's totally fine because it's a beautiful day out. Saw beaver lodge, saw tons of little fish eating little bugs at the surface. So we're gonna hike back to the car.